My dear students, here Panna sir. Today we are going to discuss the different steps of expenditure method to compute national income. Previously, I sent a video to YouTube channel in the WhatsApp group. The definition of expenditure method and its various components. But today we will read the steps of expenditure method and faster. Next chapter I will teach you the precautions of expenditure method. Next I will teach you reconciliation of three methods, means how to compute national income by income method, by expenditure method, by value added method. Next step, treatment of different items in national income. It means which items should be included while calculating national income and which are not included. Next step, treatment of different items in the domestic income while that computing domestic income. Which items should be included, which items should not be included. Next step, distinguish national income at current price and national income at a constant price. Here we will comparison how the national income is measured at the current price and how the national income is measured at the constant price or previous year's price level. Next, I will teach you how the measurement of national income at current price will be converted to national income at the constant price. And next, I will teach you distinguish between real GDP and nominal GDP. Next, I will teach you which is better, the real GDP or nominal GDP. Next, I will teach you how that GDP is an indicator of welfare. And at last, I will teach you what is the meaning of green GNP or green gross net product. And at last, how to measure depreciation. So one by one I am going to teach you. First I want to teach you the steps of expenditure method. While we are going to computing national income through expenditure method, first we have to add the core final expenditure. First is the expenditure is incurred by private individuals, private firms. It means a private final consumption. Second, government final consumption expenditure means what the government spends for the welfare of the people, common people. What the government spends, expense, that we have read. Next we have read gross domestic capital formation, means the addition towards the stock of the economy. Already in the previous video, I defined what is the gross domestic capital formation, what is the government final consumption expenditure, what is the private final consumption expenditure. Each and every term I clarified in the previous video. Not only that, we have to add a net export. That term also I clarified in the previous video. Now, when we add this core expenditure, we will get a GDP at a market price. Means gross domestic product at a market price. Okay. Now that from gross domestic product at market price, when we subtract depreciation and net indirect taxes, we will get a net domestic product at a factor cost. And after when we will at last we will add the net factor income from abroad, we will get a national income. This is the steps to compute national income through expenditure method. Is it clear, beta? Are you getting my point? Okay. Now that next point is precautions of expenditure method. Why we are going to compute national income through expenditure method? It has some limitations. We have to care for it. What should be not included, what should be included. This is the precautions for us. First is we should not include the expenditure on intermediate goods. Second, transport payments like pension, scholarship, gift, these should not be included. Third is when we are expending or spending, when we are spending some money on second-hand goods, that expenditure also should not include in while we are computing national income. Next is that suppose expenditure on own account production, means production of your self consumption. Suppose you are producing something for your self consumption. For your own consumption, you are producing something not for sale. That also should not be included in the national income. Another is suppose you have one house, means it is occupied by you. It is not given as rent, it is occupied by you. Okay, are you getting my point? It is occupied by you and you are spending some money for decoration, for repairing, for reconstruction. That expenditure also should not be included in the national income. Next is what free services. Just mother is providing free service at our home in the kitchen or for the household members. That also should not be included in expenditure method while computing the national income. Now next, these are the precautions. These are precautions we have to take care while we are computing national income through expenditure method. Now third point is reconciliation of priority. What is the meaning of reconciliation? Reconciliation means while we are going to counting or computing national income, we are using the three methods. That income method, expenditure method and value added method. And when we are counting national income by the three methods together, that is called the reconciliation of three methods. Okay, and that you can look the page number 4.16 and 4.17. You can see the example is given of the reconciliation of three methods. Reconciliation of three methods in 4.16 and 4.17. Is it clear, madam? Now the fourth point is given treatment of different items in national income. Yes. Listen to me. What is the treatment of different items? What do you mean by this? It means while we are counting national income by the three methods, it may be value added, it may be income method, it may be expenditure method. So first we have to think which items should be included in national income while we are counting and which should not be included. Which should be included, which should not be included. Same treatment of different items in domestic income. Not only national income, while we are going to compute or count or we have to measure the national income, domestic income, at that time also we have to keep in the mind which items should be included in the measurement of national income and which items should not be included. Means both in the case of national income and domestic income, when we are going to compute national income or domestic income, so there we have to keep in the mind which items should be included while counting national income, while measuring national income, and which items should not be taken into consideration or should not be included. Is it clear, beta? Are you getting my point? Now next is distinguish national income at current price and national income at a constant price. Beta, here listen that very properly. First I have to clarify you what is the national income at a current price. National income at current price means the money value of final goods and services. The money value of final goods and services produced by a normal resident of a country in a year measured at the price of the current year. For example, suppose the current year is 2021-22, okay, and what goods and services produced in this year according to price level, according to the price level, according to the price index of this year only. Means what is the final goods and services produced by a producer in the year current year 2021-22 on the base of the price index of a price level of this year only. That is called the national income at a current price. Now next I am going to clarify what is the national income at the constant price. Suppose that what is the final goods and services produced by a producer this year 2021-22, but estimated on the base of a previous year, suppose 2016 and 17, means your price is a constant, only the production of output only changed, fluctuated. So that is called the national income at a constant price. Means the national income at constant price is measured, is a national income at a constant price is measured on the base of a base year or a previous year where there is no fluctuation in the price. The price is constant. The price means suppose that for example we are taking 2016-17, the 2016-17 to 2021-22 within these 4 years the price is constant, but the quantity of output is increased more and more. Means it is real GDP, real gross domestic product, real GDP, or we can say real gross domestic product. It means there is no price fluctuation, but the output has been increased. But here the national income at current price, here there is a price increase due to the production of output increase for a producer. When the price level is the price index increased, the producer increases the output. So here price fluctuation is there. So it is not a real GDP. It is called a nominal GDP. Is it clear, better? Are you getting my point? Now next the point is convert of national income at current price into national income at constant price. Now we have to keep in the mind the formula. Suppose in exam a question comes to you and the question given convert the national income current price into national income at constant price. What is the formula I am going to say today? Suppose that listen that national income at current price is how many beta? 1,50,000 crores. Okay, and current price index means price level is 150. Okay, so now that the question asking to us, we have to extract the national income at a constant price. So what is the formula? Where the national income at constant price is asked, the formula is national income at current price upon current price index multiplied 100. So now that we look at here our national income at current price of 1,50,000 crores. Current price index is 150. Now the question is asked about to extract the answer of national income at constant price. It means national income at current price of current price index to multiply 100. After here are going to multiply. So answer will come here 1 lakh. 1 lakh. 1 minute. Now listen that here answer is 1,50,000 crores upon 150 multiply 100. So now the answer is national income at constant price is 1 lakh crores. This is the answer according to formula of and look at if you look here listen that me. Is it clear how to extract how to convert the national income at current price into national income at the constant price. Okay, so this is the formula. You can get your book this example. And now that I am coming to distinguish between nominal GDP and real GDP. Nominal GDP, real GDP. GDP means gross domestic product. Now that what are nominal GDP and a real GDP. First we have to define, after we will distinguish. What is the nominal GDP? Beta, when the gross domestic product of a given year, for example this year 2021-22 is estimated on the basis of the same year, means this year only. Suppose you are going to calculating GDP of 2021-22 on the base of price level of 2021-22, same year. It is called a nominal GDP. What is called a nominal GDP means gross domestic product. Nominal what it is not real. Why? When the production of any output fluctuated, changed due to change in the price index, that is not the real GDP. If price is constant, price level is constant, price index is constant, and there is a fluctuation or increase, for example increase in the output, that is called real GDP. So now that the distinguish between real GDP and nominal GDP, nominal GDP what GDP of a given year, for example this year 2021-22 estimated on the basis of the same year, means this year only, that is called nominal GDP, means it is not real GDP. Real GDP what beta? Suppose the gross domestic product of this year is estimated on the basis of base year. Already 5 minutes ago I told on the base of 2016-17, or we can take a base year of 2018-19, where the price is constant but output fluctuated, the quantity of output changed. So it is called the real GDP or a real gross domestic product. Now we will compare when the real GDP is more than nominal GDP, then what better? There what will be better? what will be? Definitely there will be welfare. The national income will be increased. And its gross domestic product increased, real GDP. Real GDP increased means the production is more. Production is more, then definitely it will lead to more national income. And more national income means the country will be benefited, its people will be benefited. When real GDP is equal to nominal GDP, so there is no benefit and no harm for the economy. And when that real GDP less than nominal GDP, then economy will be harmed. Hampered. Yes or no? Because the price level in current year will be more than the base year. Here no real GDP. When that real GDP less than normal GDP, there is the economy is in the danger. There is no real GDP. It depends upon the fluctuation of price. Okay, is it clear? Are you getting my point? Next, my point is which is better, national nominal GDP or real GDP? The question is here. The question is here. Which is better, the nominal GDP or the real GDP? Real GDP is better because there is no fluctuation in the price. But quantity of output has been increased. So definitely the economy will be boomed. The per capita income will be more. The national income will be more. And we all will be benefited. So here due to that real GDP is better than nominal GDP. Is it clear, better? Is it clear? Okay. Now that how to determine the real GDP, nominal GDP and a price index, because the three play a very vital role in computing national income. While you are computing national income, is your real GDP, nominal GDP and price index. These three factors play a very important role, very vital role. So now how the real GDP will be extracted? Nominal GDP, real GDP and price index. What is the method we use? But nominal GDP, formula is real GDP by price index multiply 100. Now that sorry, nominal GDP formula is real GDP price index upon 100. Now the real GDP formula is nominal GDP multiply 100 price index. Price index formula is nominal GNP gross national product upon real GDP gross national product and multiply 100. Okay, beta? Or we can adopt this method, nominal GDP, real GDP multiply 100. With two formulas, whenever we are extracting the price index of these two methods, any one you can adapt. You can adapt that. Okay? You can adapt that. No problem. Not adapt. Now next is I am going to add this example. This example you will get. Look at the page number 4.30 and 4.31. 4.30 and 4.31 you will get this formula. Now next is I am going to next beta GDP and welfare. This is the gross domestic product beta. It is often considered as an index of welfare of the people. If GDP will be increased, welfare will be increased. If GDP will be decreased, then welfare of the people will be decreased. It is a good indicator of welfare. Higher GDP, then greater welfare of people. Lower GDP, then lower welfare of the people. Less welfare of the people. But it has certain limitation beta. Sometimes increase in GDP create problem for the economy. How that we will see. Sometimes the distribution of GDP, it means increase in the GDP create a more income inequality in our society. Means rich become richer, poor become poorer. जब gross domestic product increase हो जाता है, so it led sometimes income inequalities. Means 95% GDP concentrated in the hands of 5% people, and 5% GDP is going to be concentrated in the 95% of the poor people. Second, sometimes due to increase in price, GDP increasing. Due to increase in price level, GDP increasing. So we can't say that this kind of increase in GDP is a good indicator of welfare of the people. In price rise हुआ है और GDP rise हुआ है, तो how it benefited the people? Never. Next, some activities such as that service of a housewife, kitchen gardening, these are free service beta. These are not included in GDP, gross domestic product. When we are counting, when we are measuring the gross domestic product, this kind of services are not included in GDP. And these are called non-monetary exchanges. Non-monetary exchanges means these are the free service. Next point is next limitation of calculating GDP is externalities. It is very important point while I am teaching, keep in the mind. What do you mean by externalities? Beta, it means some benefits or harms. Externalities means some benefits or harms caused by, created by a harm or individual which cannot be penalized or fined. Kabhi sometimes in society, some harm and some person, they are create, they are cause some benefits, or that also they are not awarded, rewarded. If they are doing harm for society, they are not punished. So these kind of activities are not included in the GDP. For example, there are two kind of externalities, positive or negative. Positive how beta? Suppose we establish a plant or a factory. It is gives more employment opportunities to the people. Okay, but it harmed us environment by polluting air, water. It is negative effect. When it is a benefit, that is called a positive externalities. When it harm the public by creating pollution of water and air, that is negative externalities. Are you getting my point? A factory, when giving more employment opportunities, enhancing the income of the people, it contributes more and more to national income, and it is benefited. It is positive externalities. But it is not rewarded. And when it is polluting air and water, it is not penalized, not fined, it is negative, externals. Another example I am giving. Suppose that a public park where we are going to visit and sitting and spending time. Okay. So that water, it is benefit us. It benefits on our health. We are getting fresh air. We are refreshing our mind. We can spend our leisure time. It benefits. It provides benefit. But it is not rewarded, not awarded for this. It is positive externalities. In another place, the factory which is established for production purpose, it is polluting air and water, but it is not penalized, not fined, not punished. So these kind of activities are not included in calculating of GDP. Okay. Another point is the rate of population growth. When population growth is increasing, so it is decreasing the GDP. The population is increasing, so consumption will be more, production will be less. In comparison to production, consumption will be more. Then definitely it will lead to less and less GDP. Definitely. The population will be more, GDP will be less. Then here we can't say that GDP is a good indicator of the welfare of the common people. Never. So these are the limitations of GDP. Where we are going to say that GDP is a good indicator of welfare of the common people, it will be wrong.